Evening to you on this beautiful Sunday night. I don't know what happened with my stream tonight. This camera, I'm having trouble with cameras these days. Right, tonight we are going to be working with some stone chips and some seed beads. Now I made a little sample, but I put in the safe place. But never mind, we're gonna have redesign and you're going to tell me what would you like and how would you like it, and I want you to come up with ideas as well. What would you do with a string of chips and 3 sizes of seed beads? So the seed beads we have is size 8, size 11 and size 15. I have got a couple of ideas, so let's get cracking. Right, on the website, on Totally website, I put 4 different sort of little bundles on. Let me turn you down. I can show you in real life what we have. So zooming out a bit, probably zoomed in a bit too much. So we got one with labradorite. So you tell me in the comments which one shall we start first. So we got one with labradorite chips, then these beautiful black diamond seed beads. We have got an amazonite because we have to have an amazonite. Amazonite is one of my favorite stones, and this beautiful sort of grayish blue, ice blue seed beads. Then we had tigerite. So the whole idea came from the tigerite because obviously it was Chinese New Year not that long ago, and it's the year of the tiger. And last week we worked with some beautiful tigerite beads. So continuing on that, so we got this one, and last but not least we got the moonstone. So which one? Other way around. Which one shall I start with? So labradorite, amazonite, tigerite, this is blue tigerite, or moonstone. Let me know in the chat, and while you're letting me know in the chat, I'm just gonna come and say hello to you all. Right, let me know where you're watching from. That's sort of tonight's theme, because I just love that people are joining in and watching from all over the world, from all different time zones really. So perhaps might be afternoon where you are, not even evening, or might be, if you're on the other side, then might be even I'm just adding a little bit of sort of nail oil to my nails because I am so dry, my hands are so dry. So let's have a look what you are saying, and let's say hello. Good evening, Isla, Emilia. Oh, Kelly's here. Good evening, lovely. Good evening, Mina, Celia, Lucy, Mel. Michelle is saying, I'm watching from Cambridgeshire. Been a nice sunny day, but still chilly. Yes, I was so nice and sunny. I went out for a little walk as well. Went to get a little coffee with a friend, and we just sat on a bench. But like not long, we didn't sat there for very long because it was very windy, and it was like a really chill in the wind as well. Good evening, Rachel. Evening everyone. Kitty, you have set me off with the Bead Club bellflowers. Oh bless you. Really, in the Bead Club this week we were doing this beautiful, I've got my earrings here, I'll show you. They're really little beautiful bellflowers we've been doing. And if you don't know about the Bead Club, do check it out, beadclub.online. So we are making, I made them into little earrings. Let me just bring it up, and if it's going to focus in on it. I zoom in. I zoom in so you can see it. Let's just come in with this. And then if I put my hand behind, there we go. So I made these beautiful bellflowers. I turned mine into earrings. There's a crystal drop right in the middle of it, and what we did, we encased it with the treasure beads, or you could do it with delicate beads as well. So we did this in the Bead Club this week, and if you are, do check out the Bead Club. It's Bead Club, www.beadclub.online, and you can, once you become a member, you can watch back the previous tutorials as well. Right, I'm just going to zoom back out. So moonstone, amazonite, tigerite, no, labradorite, amazonite, tigerite, moonstone. You really have to keep me straight tonight. Good evening, Lou. Which is saying, evening, my lovelies. Lucy saying, Amazonite is gorgeous. I love the Amazonite. Lucy saying, watching from a hotel. Ooh, where is the hotel? Let us know. Good evening, Judith. Victoria, Amazonite. Yeah, Tigerite. Celia is saying. Lucy saying, me too. Rachel Brooke, I also found some more treasure turquoise. Amazonite. Amazonite, I think we're gonna have to, you have to go with the Amazonite. Tiger Eye, Rachel is saying. Even Regan, it's been making Belfast, Lindsay is saying. Amazonite. Amazonite, I think it's going to be Amazonite and Moose. So let's start off with Amazonite. So he's saying Bolton, Lancashire, she's watching from. Still hungover 9 p.m. Oh yeah, Kelly is in South Africa, so she's a couple of hours ahead of us. Amazonite, Lucy Garrett, I did not look at my stash. Rachel is saying, oh, we do have, like, my stash, I got so much beads, but when I need a bead, do you have the right bead? Like, I never got the right bead. Always need more beads. Evening, Angela. Nicole saying, hi, Kitty and everyone. Lucy saying, love that color. Lucy, pop the link in. Bead Club online. We got such a lovely beading family, such a bunch of lovely ladies in there. I really, really love it. And we jump on Zoom and do classes every single week. And then there are some member-led meetups as well. So just meeting nice people. Right. I'm usually saying love the Belfast. I really love them too, because it's something a little bit different, and giving the intricate over the crystal drop just really makes it interesting. Not far from Heathrow, Louise saying, I'll maybe be flying then tomorrow. Oh, but flying, what would I do? Like, I don't know, I need a holiday, ladies. I need to go somewhere very, I would like to be somewhere very tropical, sandy and hot. Good evening, Brenda. I hope you are doing well. Cherry saying good evening. Right, so we're going to start with the Amazonite. I'm going to just push this out of the way. So what ideas, ladies? I want your ideas. What are we going to go? We got a gorgeous strand of stone chips here. And stone chips are the perfect sort of, shape of beads to not just sort of the shapes, but when we're buying gemstones, they can be quite expensive. So an 8mm round Amazonite bead, strand of beads, can be like £20, depending on the quality as well. But and I'm going to come in a bit more because get started. But buying chips, it can be, oh, there we go, zoomed right in. Buying chips can be really inexpensive to use stone chips themselves. So what are we going to create? We got size 8, size 11, size 15 seed beads. We got our gorgeous gemstone chips, and we got a couple of crystals, larger crystals in here. And let me know, what can you imagine we could make with this one? Lorna is saying, good evening, Kitty and everyone. Love the Amazonite. Amazonite is my favorite as well. Lou said open day. Oh, I know exactly who you are then. Lovely. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the chocolates. The kid, so she came up to the open day yesterday and bought me a lovely box of chocolate. I'm just going to bring it up. There's only 2 left in there now. The kid's been coming in and taking some as well. So what are we going to do with a strand of stone chips, size 8 seed beads, size 11 seed beads, size 15 seed beads, and a couple of clasps? I need a couple of crystals, which we can use as clasp. So ladies, I need ideas. Oh, Lucy's saying we need to ask Simon for a nice gemstone chip bundle. Ooh, maybe I'll let him know. Right. Okay. So what I have is, Lorna is saying, could you make the hedgehog bracelet? Absolutely, you could. With the hedgehog bracelet, I think I used size 6 as the base, but it doesn't matter. You could use size 8 as well, and size 11 on the top. Now, I had actually something a little bit similar idea done the hedgehogs, but not the same. And I would like to do what idea I had is to do a base, and then on that base we're going to add the gemstone chips on the top. We're going to use the couple of little, not little, the 9x12 crystals as the closures, and add the gemstone chips onto the top. We're going to embellish our lovely netting. Right, okay, so I'm going to grab some thread and then we're going to get started. So I'm going to pop this to the side. So the netting I want to make is We could make it bigger or we could make it smaller. It's really kind of it's up to us, like how far apart you want the crossing and nothing. So for the minute, we're not going to use the clasp and we're not going to use the size 15s and neither the stone chips. We're going to concentrate on the size 8 and the size 11 beads. The size 8 multi-stringing necklace. Oh, Celia, that's such a good idea as well. We could do something like that as well. And we could have, like sort of different, like the rows going in and out of each other as well. That would look fantastic too. You see, it's the only thing I don't have a lot. Stone chips, oh bless. We need to do more projects with them. I love stone chips. I absolutely love them. And because they are really inexpensive way to work with gemstones. Because when they make the beads, obviously they carve out the beads from large slabs of stones. And they have got, like, you know, the little bit of chips left over, and that's what they make the chips from. So they are kind of like the leftovers from the other beads, and that's why they are kind of inexpensive. Right, let me just take a sip of my water. Excuse me, I forgot to bring a glass in, and we're gonna get started. Necklace is a great idea, Louis saying. Make a collar like your flower garden necklace. Yeah, absolutely. We could do something like that. And that was based on, actually, I can bring it in. I can show you because I still got it here. Have I got it here still? I have been tidying up today. Oh, no, here. So I'm just going to show you this quickly. So when we did the bell flowers this week, this is where the idea came from. And this necklace is about 15, 16 years old, very, very old, but it's just a bunch of beads sewn on top of a base, and we got the bell flowers and we got this beautiful dahlia as well. But if you look at the back of it, they're probably more like size 6 beads, but this is all square stitch. And you can make any shape with square stitch, any sort of, you know, like for bracelet, for necklaces or anything like that. And then that's your base. That's what you create first, and then add things to the front of it to really, really bulk it up. So that's the garden necklace what Lorna was saying about. Right, okay, and I got my thread caught now. I need to, which bead is around? There we go, around it. Right, so let's try a little bit of a netted bracelet, and then we can actually we could make a really nice pendant with square stitch at the bottom. So we could go through that as well. Right, so good evening, Debbie. Nice to see you here. Hope your weekend was good. Yeah, it's been busy. We had an open day yesterday, and today's just flown by, really. So netted necklaces, netted bracelets. They you are going to be sort of going up and down. Actually, maybe I should get a piece of paper to show you, so you know. 1 sec. I got some here. I think I got some empty paper in here. So when I design something, I often either toddle about on my, there we go, some empty paper. I toddle about on my iPad, or just get a piece of paper. I actually got a little sort of a clear, just a little book, sort of notebook by the side of my bed, because sometimes I wake up in the morning and just want something to draw down. So make a netted bracelet. What we need to do, so we're going to use the size 8 beads are going to be our crossover beads. And I'm just going to draw this like this. So depending of how many sections we want, that many sections we're gonna have to, like, you know, how wide you want the bracelet, and we're gonna go up. So we're gonna start, this is gonna be our first row, and then we're gonna add, let's add 3 seed beads in between every single crossover bead. And the crossover bead, I call it crossover bead because that's the one we're gonna come back through. So we're gonna pick up these beads first, we're gonna go right to the end, pick up our size 8, which is gonna sit there. Then we're gonna pick up another, we could pick up actually a size 15, so it's not too big on the end, and then come back on ourselves. And then we're going to go up 3 seed beads. We're going to go to this bead here. Oh, I missed a section. They need to be one bigger section. And then we're going to work our way back down, but we need to have one more section actually to this to work. So we need to start here, because when we get down to the bottom, then we're gonna go and add that, and we're gonna turn around here and then go into the next row. So that's how, and these are our crossover beads, because we're gonna pick them up and we're gonna come back through them as we are doing our weave. There we go. And when we get to the end, we pick up a size 8. We could pick up a size 15 and then again start to pick up our pattern. Once you get going with this, it's really quick to do. So that's what we're going to be doing. I hope everybody's seen that, but I kind of like to, but if I know exactly what I want to do, then I just go ahead and pick up the beads. Now, what we need to think of, how many beads are we going to add in between our crossover beads? So I need you to let me know in the chat. I think 3, but perhaps 2 is enough. But we could, if you wanted to make it wider, then we could add 5. I think 3. So let me know in the chat how many seed beads, how many size 11 seed beads we're going to add in between our crossover beads. So we're going to have to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crossover bead. So let me know in the chat if you want me to add 2 size 11 in between or 3 size 11, and then you will see how it's all going to turn out. So while you're doing that, I'm just gonna, Victor is saying, I haven't done any jewelry this weekend. I went to hospital appointment and came back with virus. Oh no! Sending you big hugs and kisses, lovely. Virtual chicken soup. So many be catch up next week. It's so like, you know, I'm so trying to treat, you're just saying 3. I'm trying to sort of stay away from like all viruses and everything else at the moment, because of like, if I go down, I go down hard as well. And chicken soup, loads of chicken soup. That's what you need. Right. So Lorna, like the netting on the baubles made, yes, similar to that one, and all sorts of other netting we done before as well. Going backwards and forward. Judith is saying 3, Lindsay is saying 3, Rachel saying 3, Nicole is saying 3. So I think Cherry is saying 3. So I think we're gonna go with 3. Right. So I'm gonna pop this to the side and then we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add size 15 at the end. So it's going to like a real tiny bead at the end. So it's not going to stick out this because you got all those sizes in there. So I'm going to start with size 6. Then I'm going to pick up 3 size 11. And I'm just going to zoom in just in a sec. Then another size 6. Another 3 size 11. And I'm going to follow this pattern all the way. I want to finish with a size 6. Not size 6, sorry. Size 8. Finish with the size 8 until I have got 6. 1, 2, 3 size 8. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 1 more, 3 seed beads and my size 8. Then I'm going to pick up a size 15 and I'm going to take this down. Now when you're doing netting, it does take a lot of thread, so I'm going to try to start with as much thread I can, and I'm going to leave my bobbin on here as well for the minute. So actually we could have turned around with the bobbin, but never mind. So if I want to, I can continue my bead work the other way. So as I have got all my beads on here, just zooming back in, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to go back through that size 8 beads. Let's just get these out of the way. There we go. So I'm going to ignore the 15, which is right at the end, and just going to come through the size 8 bead just like that. And I'm going to pull this tight. So they just going to sit there, and that size 15 is just turned our thread path around, because if we're going that way, we picked up the 15, came back through the 8, and we're going to go backwards now. So I'm going to pick up 3 size 11, 1 size 8, another 3 size 11. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to miss exactly what I picked up on my needle. So I'm going to miss 3 size 11, 1 size 8, 3 size 11, and I'm going to go through this second size 8 here. About third, if I count the one which is hiding under my nail. So there we go. So we got like a little sort of a diamond shape of beading there. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to repeat it again. So 3 size 11, size 8, 3 size 11. And then I'm going to go and miss whatever I picked up on my needle and go into the second size 8. Now on the next one, we're going to have to turn around. Maybe 2 seed beads would have been enough, but I'm going to go with the 3. No, because when we had the chips on it, I'm sort of thinking to myself at the same time. So on the next one, because we're right at the end, we're going to have to turn around. So I'm going to pick up 3 size 11, 1 size 8 and a size 15, because I am going right to the edge. There's a couple of ways with netting you could do the edge, but I'm going to do sort of a pointed edge for this one. And I'm going to let this go down. I'm going to turn my beadwork around. I'm going to ignore that 15, come through the size 8 and pull this up. And I want to make sure there's no thread showing there. There's no gap. So I'm going to pull this up right against my beads there. And then I'm going to go ahead, pick up 3 size 11, 1 size 8, 3 size 11. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to miss this one here. I'm going back on myself. So I'm going to go through the second one from where I am. And this is a different one, sort of in terms if I put it down. I just want to show you. This one is going to be a different one we went through before. So before we crossed over in this bead, and now we're crossing over in this bead. And then I'm going to repeat again, picking up 3 size 11, 1 8, 3 size 11. And then I'm going to miss this one and go through the one above. Once you get started, you kind of going to know which one you need to go through because it's going to stick out a little bit. Now I'm going to do a few rows, but you can already see it's taking shape that where we're crossing over and how the beads are running. So turning around, 3 size 11, 1 size 8, 1 15. The 15 looks really cute on the top of the size 8 there. Good evening, Ruth. Good evening, Barbara. Barbara saying, hope everybody is well. And I'm going to come back through the size 8. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again, adding a few rows to my bracelet here. 1, 2, 3. So if you can count to 3, you can do this bracelet. There we go. Keeping that tail out of the way. So, how's everybody's week been? Let me know. How's your week been? What you've been up to? What you've been beading? What you've been making? And I'm turning around, so I'm just picking up 3 size 11, 1 size 8, 1 15. Taking this down. Good evening, Caroline. And then I'm going to turn around by coming back through that size 8. So I'm missing the size 15 and just coming through the size 8. And I'm going to make sure that it's all nice and snug, so there is no thread showing before I go in and start to continue my netting. Now, if you wanted to, you can do just only one. Or if you wanted to do like, you could do with the same size beads. But I think adding, for a crossover, adding a larger bead, sometimes it just looks really nice as well. Because the chips on the top, and we're going to start adding them, we're going to add them to those size 8 beads anyhow as well. Well, that's what I kind of like imagined, but you can see it's growing. Once we have a few rows, it's really gonna even out. Try to keep an even tension, more on the tightest side. So I'm turning around, 3 size 11, 1 8, 1 15. Oh, Debbie's saying a boring week. Oh, Debbie, no, what have you been doing? Why has it been so boring? Carolyn saying, I'm busy making macrame pirate bracelets for our festival at the end of April. What is a macrame pirate bracelet, Deb? Caroline, you're going to have to send me a picture so I can show it to everybody. And actually, talking about picture, Jean sent me a picture for last week makes, what she's done with it. I'm going to show you that just in a bit. I'm intrigued. What is a macrame pirate bracelet? And there we go. So I'm just going to go backwards and forwards, adding a few rows to this. 1, 2, and always picking up 3 seed beads, size 8, 3 seed bead, and then coming up. Now, differences between the edging. So we, instead of having I wanted kind of like having a pointed edge, but we could have had an edge where we come up and sort of like make a little bubble on the end, or just add a couple of seed beads, or maybe 3 seed beads there and then come back down, and then you have a more of a straighter end. But when I'm gonna be adding the chips on it, this is where I'm gonna add the last row where I'm gonna add the chips, and then here they're just gonna sort of peek out from behind. There's so many different things you can do with netting. I absolutely love it. Minnie's saying, I have made daisy bracelet with crystal rondelle. Oh, I love daisy bracelets. I haven't done daisy bracelet for a very long time. Maybe I need to do some little springy ones. They like daisy bracelets is one of those things, like people usually think about daisy bracelets as like, you know, something what children would do, but in reality, like, you know, you can really dress a daisy bracelet up, and especially if you do it with crystals, they can look fantastic. Have I got caught? What's happening? Got it a bit tighter. Can you see my netting is started to grow? So this week, what I have been doing this week, I did the live with those beautiful Parpcoimos bracelets. I really enjoyed that one, and actually I got something to, I have something to confess, because, and I forgot about it, and I felt after the live, I felt so, I don't know, so sorry that I forgot to mention. So, you know, last week I was in Hungary, and Lucy was with me because it was school holiday for her. And actually, she made one of the bracelets. She made the silver bracelet one evening. Sort of, we were just sit down and we were watching a movie on the iPad in bed, and and I got my beading out, and I was beading, and she was like, "Oh, like, can I try that one?" I was like, "Oh yes, of course, of course you can try it." And she made the silver bracelet, and halfway through she was doing the bracelet, she said, like, "Mom," I was like, "Yeah, this pattern actually is cool." I was like, "Thank you." Bless her. And I forgot to tell everybody, and I wanted to tell so much that I wanted to tell everybody so much that she made one of the bracelets, because she's going to be 15 in 4 weeks, and she's never really been into beading. If one of her friends came around, then obviously they would want to do something. They would want to do bracelets, but sometimes she shows a little interest. Christopher shows much more interest in the beading and beads and everything else than Lucy. So I was so happy when she said, "Can she try? Can I tell her how to make one of those bracelets?" And she did the silver one. Bless her. So it was feeling like a proud mommy moment when she was doing it with me. Minnie's saying, I will take pictures tomorrow and send it to you. Brilliant, so I can show it off next week. I'm going to add a few more rows, and then we need to add the clasp on it as well. So we got a couple of beads on there, and we're going to need to add them on. So not you don't always have to use like metal clasp or like, you know, magnetic clasp or any of that sorts. You can turn a bead into a button clasp, and I love doing that because sometimes like if you they can, especially because with the beads you can use the same color as the bracelet, and I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more sort of vintage, because in the I guess in the olden days that's what they had, is a button or a bead to use as a clasp. They didn't really have all these wonderful metal findings and magnetic findings we have now these days, and I just love it. And with netting is such an I guess like a older technique, because netting is kind of found all over the world in all sorts of different cultures, and it was very popular, and it is very popular because if I did the same amount of bracelet in peyote stitch, I would have used maybe two, but maybe three times as much beads as I used with this netting. And with netting, the other really great thing about it that it can expand a little bit. So if you have got problems like your wrist swells up or anything like that, or you don't like, if you're like me, I don't like wearing bracelets tight. I have to wear them a little bit loose, but if they're too loose, then I run into the problem I get it caught on everything. So netted bracelet is actually perfect because it can kind of like expand a little bit as you're moving your wrist around. Right, let's just untie that thread. Caroline's saying she sent me a photo. Caroline, can you just let me know if you sent it to me on Messenger or if you sent it to me in an email, or how did you send it to me, so I can have a look into I can look in the right place. So 3 seed beads of size 11, one size 8, another 3 size 11, going through there, and then just keep repeating the same thing. And with netting, it's really repetitive, and it grows quite quickly as well. So you can just relax and keep adding your beads on. So I'm going to be turning around. I wonder, I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 more rows, and we're going to add the clasp and turn around. But I wonder if I want to try a little sample with 2 seed beads as well for you, so you can see it. Brenda is saying, I think I got my mojo bag. Bless you. Managed to make necklace and earrings with the beads I bought yesterday, as we were perfect to match my pendant. Oh, that's so nice to hear. Sometimes we can all get like that, like have a little beading blues. Going off a bit, but we all I suppose come back to it sooner or later, and especially if you're busy with other things can get taken over. I always say, like when I go on holiday, I always have to take something with me because I'm the opposite. I get the itchy finger syndrome. I just want to twiddle in something. Right, coming backwards and forwards, adding rows and rows and rows. So Caroline, can you just let me know, where did you send me that picture? And in the meantime, I'm just gonna go and grab Jean's picture from last week, because she made a beautiful bracelet. And there we go, bringing it here. One sec. Let's get rid of this window, and then I'm going to bring this in. This is what Jean made last week. Well, then let me zoom out a little bit. She made a beautiful bracelet. So as we were making the earrings, she made 6 of those and joined it together for a bracelet. I think it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. This is just shows you, like, you know, we can have one idea and somebody else will take it and just run away with it and do something really wonderful. So I love seeing your pictures. I love when you send it in or send it to me. because you know, it's really, I feel like, you know, the same way as I felt with Lucy when she said she wanted to do the little bracelet, like you know, being a little proud. Everybody's doing all sorts of different things. Kara's saying Messenger, cool. I'm gonna go and have a look at that one. And then he's saying love the bracelet. Kitty, are you coming to NEC in 2 weeks' time? I am not, but Simon's gonna be there. So he's going to be at NEC in 2 weeks' time. I can't believe it's like, it's the 6th of March today. I can't believe how, like, we are March already in 2022. Before we know it, Christmas is going to be around again. We're going to have to start doing more Christmas projects before we know it. But Simon is going to be at the NEC in a couple of weeks. That's NEC Birmingham. I don't know, like, I'm so jealous that he's going, because I don't know, I'm just thinking, like, what was the last show I went to? But I think it was before the current situation, definitely. And I don't know. I don't know which show was it, which was the last show I went, but it's been a long time, and there's so much nice inspiration, not just for beading, but all sorts of. Lucy's saying, what's happening at the NEC? So it's hobby crafts. All sorts of different crafts are going to be there. It's a 4-day show. So it's in 2 weeks, not next week, the week after. It starts on Thursday and finishes on Sunday. I don't know, like, the exhibitor list. I haven't seen it, but there is a lot of people going to be there doing loads of different things. I can see Brenda sent a picture as well, and I need to go and look on Caroline's one as well. Just 1 sec. Let me just come down on this row. Right, so we got, that didn't take us so much, a beautiful little netting. Now for when we're gonna add our, I'm just gonna pop these crystals here. So when I'm gonna add these as little sort of button clasp, they're gonna go on, this is my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th size 8, they're gonna have to go on the 2nd and the 5th one, because if you put it like, if you put it on the 2, which sticks out, then kind of will be off center. So when you're adding 2 button clasp or anything like that onto your just save these 2 downloads onto your bracelet, make sure you evenly add from either side. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add this on there. And I know I got loads of thread here, so I can continue the other way, but I really want to sort of start to add some stone chips on the top to show. Maybe we should do a couple more rows, just sort of, we got a bit more length so you can really see it. Right, let me just, I'm gonna bring Brenda's pictures because that's right here that came through, and then I'll go and look for Caroline's picture. So this is Brenda's picture. There we go. I need to zoom out a little bit. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. So she had this beautiful turquoise pendant, and she's got like little turquoise beads with it, and made like little links to go with it. Right, need to, for some reason Facebook is not working in one of the browsers, so I have to go, and it hasn't been working for quite some time, so I need to go in and look it on the other. Right, okay, so 1 sec. That is really beautiful. Some, like, I love, they only 4mm beads, the little turquoise highlight beads, but I think they're perfectly matching the pendant, and it's got that delicate look about it, and I love it. Right, so hang on. I need to get to, how do I get to there? I need to get to messages on this. It's not coming up. Right, and let's open that in a new tab. Will that come up? I know I'm gonna press this button. Sometimes like I get used to one thing and then Facebook goes and like changes buttons around and add things to other places, and then they're like, I don't know where is what, but I'm almost in the inbox. So Caroline, just 1 second, and I am gonna get that pictures right. This is gonna let me to save this. Or can I just drag it out? Oh yes, I can drag it out. So Caroline was saying she was making some pirate bracelets, and actually it looks really, really cute. So I'm gonna get this Brenda's one out, and I'm gonna bring Caroline's picture in. That is so cute. So she done a little bit of macrame. Looks like square stitch going all the way around, and added a little skull in the middle. That is just so fun. That's really, really fun. And everybody was saying for Brenda, that's really gorgeous. No, Brenda's saying thank you. Brenda is so lovely. She just makes the most amazing things, and I love it. She got really good ideas as well. And Lou's saying beautiful. Right, really think, please hit the like button, everyone, please. Every single like and every single subscribe really helps the channel out. Right, okay, so shall I add a couple? No, I'm gonna add these on. So I'm not really gonna do sort of anything complicated here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up how many seed beads, how much gap? A couple of seed beads I think will be enough. I'm gonna pick up a couple of size 11s. I'm gonna pick up a size 8, I'm gonna pick up the crystal, another size 8, and the size 15 for the top. There we go. And then I'm gonna ignore the size 15, come back to the size 8, crystal size 8, and then I'm gonna go ahead, actually I'm gonna pick up another 2 size 11 here, so I have got that bead surrounded. And then I'm gonna come through, so I'm coming through this side of the size 8 here. I'm gonna come through from the other side, and when I pull this up, this will just centralize my little crystal bead there. Now I'm gonna come up to the top and weave my thread around because I want to get to this bead right here. So I'm just gonna follow any thread path I have created in a previous steps, and then just to get up to this bead on the, don't want to stitch through my netting. When you're going backwards on your netting, and especially when I'm going to start adding the stone chips right after we did this, you do need to be careful that you don't, like, you know, your thread can get caught on the side of your necklace and or bracelet, sorry. And I do have rogue threads sometimes on bracelets, and you can't cut it off because the part of the thread path is still there and attached. See what I mean? Like getting caught. You have to make sure that it doesn't get caught. So I'm going to repeat the same thing here. So 2 seed beads, size 8, the crystal, another size 8, size 15 for the top, and then take it all the way down. Lucy's saying, wow, I like that, beautiful work. Brenda Caroline saying, that's cute. That is lovely, Caroline. Love macrame. Ruth is saying, my boys would love that. Or maybe you could do it with them. Can your boys do macrame? Do let us know. I'm gonna miss the size 15. Come back to the seed bead, crystal, seed bead. The size 8, crystal size 8. Make sure this is nice and tight, so I haven't got any rogue thread. Pick up another 2 size 11, and always, if you're using a bead or a button, always add that on your bracelet first. Oh, my lights just flickered. Always add that on your bracelet first, because we can adjust then the loop on the other side as big as we want to make it. So there we go. So we got our little button clasps on the end. Michelle is saying, love the pirate bracelet, and Brenda, your set is gorgeous. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go backwards and forwards, and we're going to stop at every crossover bead, and we're going to add a chip onto the top of it. So I'm going to cut this strand down. Now, depending on what sort of chips you have and what sizes are the chips. Now, I don't really pay attention that much towards the sizes, and I'm just going to bring this in. But sometimes when you have got chips where there are multicolored chips, so on a strand like malachite has got multicolors, or you know, even like in fluorite, you could have more greeny ones and more purple ones. Now, when you do something like this, you could plan it out that on one end, you add a lighter shade of the chips and working your way across and adding darker ones on the other side, or like, you know, one color going into another color. There's so many different things you could do when you're adding your chips on the top. Now, I don't really pay much attention to how I pick them up, but I don't really want to pick up very, very sort of tiny ones like this, because we're going to be adding them up on the top of each one of those crossover beads. So you kind of want the size, which is go sort of 1.5 bead this way, 1.5 bead sort of all sort of the way. So the very tiny ones, I'm going to pop them to the side. I'm going to try to pick up more like sort of medium sizes. Now, as I'm right at the end here, I'm going to go and turn my thread around in that 15, and I'm going to come back on myself, and I want to go through the size 8 bead. I'm going to pull this through. Then you can, there's two ways you can do it. So if you want your chips a bit raised off from your bracelet, then pick up a seed bead. I want them nice and snug on the top of the bead, so I'm not going to add a seed bead underneath it. So I'm straight going to go ahead and pick up my stone chip here. Then I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed beads, because I just want a very small seed bead to the top. I'm going to miss the size 15. I'm going to come back through just the chip itself, but make sure when you're coming back through that you do not cross over in your thread, because what you don't want any thread showing. You want to be able to hold on to that chip and pull this really nice and tight onto the top of that crystal. Sorry, not crystal, onto the top of that size 8 bead. And then as we're coming out of the bottom, we're gonna step back and come from the other side. We're going to go through that size 8 to size 11s to get to the next size 8 just there. If you did a neutral color base, you could add lots of different gems and chips in ombre style. Absolutely, you could do sort of loads of different things. And then I'm just going to pull it up nice and tight. And then as I'm coming out of this size 8 now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up another chip. I've got so many chips. I don't know which one shall I like. I'm going to pick up this one. This one is a little bit flatter. Take that down, get a 15, and then go back through this chip here. Pull this up, make sure this is nice and tight. And then we're going to come through that size 8 from the other side, and continue through the size 11s to get to the next size 8. And I'm just going to go backwards and forwards, adding the stone chips, always following any thread path at the bottom, what I can see there. I need to take a few more chippies off. And you're going to have this lovely texture on the top of your netting. Then he's saying it's like the hedgehog bracelet. Not really, because the hedgehog has got much more of a solid base. And the hedgehog, I'll grab one out from the cupboard, just one second, I'll show you. But the hedgehog has got much longer more like these ones are going to sit really tightly on the top, and in the hedgehog you had beads underneath it, so it was more of a kind of like a flower bed. And this one is quite, when you wear this one, it's going to be right on the top. The chip's going to be right on the top. Right, I'm going to come to the next size 8. There we go. And add a chip on here as well. Chip and size 15. Taking it down. And going back through just the chip. Pulling it up nice and tight. I'm gonna come through that size 8. I need to go out to the side. Just make sure this is nice and tight. There we go. Through the 15, I think I got a little bit of a rogue thread there, but it will be all right. Through the 15. And back into the 8, and then I'm going towards the other way. So I'm not going to add any right on the edge. I'm just going to leave those kind of like peeking out from underneath the stone chips. Now if we added 2, yes, I did the 15. If we added 2 beads on here, then the chips would be even closer to each other. So it's always on the base, like you can adjust if you want the chips sit further apart or closer together. That's you have to do. What's happening on thread? Which one did you get caught on? It's caught on something. There we go. I think we got it. Yeah. Nope. Sometimes I feel like all I'm doing is detangling thread all day. Naughty thread, but it's all right. I think. Are we okay? What's happening? It's by the 15. For some reason, this is not sliding. It's twisted there. So I'm going to go there. Pull this up. Hold it apart and see what's happening here by the 15. I think. Is that it? Are you going to come through now? I think. What's going on with you? Right, let's pull that through. There we go. And then just pull it on nice and tight. Right, let me grab the hedgehog bracelet, and then I can show you how is that different from this one, and how the stone chips are going to sit differently on the top. I'm not sure if I'm going to put my hand on the Amazonite one, but definitely I'm going to get one out. And look at that. Must have been meant to be, because I put my hand on the Amazonite one. So the hedgehog bracelet, just zoom out a little bit, that's more like, can you see, like we got long sort of shabby movement in the stones sitting on the top. This one, we are putting the tops, the chips right on the top, and they're just gonna sit differently. They're just gonna be like little scatter of pebbles on the top of your bracelet, rather than having chips which sort of like to move about as you go. There we go, pulling it through. I'm going to add a few more. And going through that size 8. And I'm going to come to this direction. There we go. Making sure it doesn't get caught on anything. I'm pulling it through. it gives you overall a different look. When if you don't put anything underneath it, it will give you a different look. Now, when I'm picking up the stone chips, and I'm going to pick up this one. Where is the hole? There is the hole. So if your stone chip is more domed on one side and a bit more flatter on the other side, then try to pick it up from the flat side, because you want the flat side to sit against the bracelet. Cherry's saying that would also look amazing if you were adding small bangles in the same colors as the crystals. Same small bicons in the same color as the crystal. So so we have done another bracelet before where I can grab one as well, which has got a netted base, and then we added bicons onto the top of it, and that looked really good as well. There is so many different things, so many different combinations you could do, and the outcome will be slightly different. And that's what the beauty of like all of us crafting, that I'm going to do something and then you there are going to come up with a completely different idea than I am, even if you have got the same materials. And then coming to the end to turn around, pulling this up. Where are you? Don't get stuck. So if I'm going to pull it through nice and tightly, I always hold on to the chip and then I pull my thread and just make sure it's not looped in any way. There we go. And then I'm going to go backwards and forwards, adding those little chips onto the top. What do we think so far? Let me know in the chat. What do you think so far, having a little bracelet like this? Just going back, I'm trying to get to the next size 8. I'm always adding the chips on top of the size 8 beads. I'm gonna pick up this one. Nice big flat one. There we go. Then coming through and getting to the next size 8. Once you sort of start to get going, you're going to get faster and faster at this, adding your beads on the top. I'm going to add this one next, pick up more from the flattest side. Debbie's saying I love it. Ruth is saying lovely and elegant. What I love about it, that it has got like a raw look, because of the stone chips give you this bit of a raw look about it. But when you put it together, all those sort of different shapes of chips, because like there is no two chip on the same in a whole strand, that just gives you this very natural look. Would make a lovely choker as well, absolutely. And let me just turn this. So I'm gonna get to this size 8 here. Absolutely would make a lovely choker as well. You could do a necklace. You could do a belt, you know, with netting. If you if you want to have like a beaded belt, for example, like you got a was thinking a nice dinner party. I haven't been to like sort of oh no, I'm going to a wedding. Oh, maybe I could make one for a wedding. I'm going to a wedding, not long, but I could make one for length. So you could make a really nice belt, and the reason the best thing, like this is really good for a belt, because even though after you add a stone chip, can you see you got that movement in it, so you can breathe. And then after dinner it will still look nice, because after dinner it will just stretch a little bit out. So perfect, absolutely perfect. Let me just make sure this is nicely pulled up. There we go. And then I'm gonna get to the next size 8 and add the next chip on. Victor is saying, I would like it with the different colored chips, like the hairband ones. Yeah, you could do all sorts of different things. So you could like either start off with like Amazonite, then you go into maybe blue lace agate, and then you go into adding something more blue like a sodalite or lapis onto the top, or all sorts of different, any sort of different stones you have at home. You could do like an ombre effect going down. That would look amazing as well. Or just an overall mix like a flower garden, or just mix two colors. I mean, you adding the chips, even though the chips are not the same size, but you're adding the chips always on the size 8s, and the size 8s are in regular places. So you could have one row of one color, another row of another color, another row of another color again. You could do so many different things, so many different designs with it. So what do we think so far? Let me know in the chat. I really do like the look of it. I think it's going to look really nice as a bracelet, because like it, and I'm going to bring this one back, the hedgehog one, what Diane was talking about. So you can see the difference. Like this one is really nice and flat on my wrist, and this one is really domed up. So they're both stunning, and they both, but they are different technique. And this one you would do again the same base. This is a square stitch base, and then add the little fringes onto the top. And with this one we're just doing today, it's I got it caught, got my thread caught in the chips. This one, what we're doing today, is really nice and flat on the top of your wrist. So if I'm working, like for me, or crafting or doing anything, a bracelet like this, if I turn it sideways, can you see like that's really nice and flat? And if I turn this sideways, that's quite chunky compared to this. So a flat and really nice flat bracelet I love wearing, because it kind of like feels like it's not even on your wrist. But if something is a little bit more chunky, then as you're putting your wrist down, your table, and if you're trying to type, that's gonna like always dig in the bottom of your wrist. So flat bracelets are great. And with this one, the stone chips are never gonna be sort of with your skin, because you got the netting underneath. Right, so stone chip, size 15. And I'm just going backwards, adding the chips on the top. Coming back through. I'm not going to let that thread go. I'm going to go through the size 8 as well, then pull it up. And then weave my thread, following any thread path, to the next size 8. Hedgehog is out of stock in my favorite colors. Diane, send a message on. You can do like a Facebook message to Totally, and they'll pick it up tomorrow, because often something else is out of stock, and like they can swap it about with something else, and you like maybe the seed bead, but we got like so many different seed beads that we can pick the nearest color for you, and it will still look stunning. So just send a message for them that I'm looking for the hedgehog in this and this. And I think the stone chips are coming in as well. We had them, some of them are out of stock, but they are in the next couple of weeks as well, if I'm not mistaken. But because I'm working most of the days from home now, I really don't know what's going on in the warehouse. Oh, good evening, Jojo is here. I am okay, lovely. I hope you are okay. And more importantly, how's your lovely Lola? Let us know in the chat. Joe's got the most beautiful puppy. Such a lovely little thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and add maybe a couple more rows, and then we can try something else out as well. Because like, even though you do a whole bracelet, you're gonna have gemstone chips left over from a strand, because Like when you turn them and you put them this way, they're gonna go a long way. And I think they look so beautiful just on the top. Lorna is saying you could use this space, then somehow wire wrap one of those dragon eye cabochons to make a clasp. Then the gemstone chips would look like scales of the dragon. Oh, yes, absolutely. So what Lorna is talking about, on Totally, Sarah Payne did a beautiful wrap of this. We got this dragon eye cabochons, and did a beautiful wrap with it, and wire wrap with it. That would look really good on it. Joe Singh, Lola is great. All fat and fur from her Sunday roast. Oh, bless. Fat and full, not fur. Fat and full from her Sunday roast. Bless her. What breed is Lola? Michelle is asking. If I'm not mistaken, it's a cockapoo, isn't it? A Joe. But I'm so bad at sort of remembering all these like different dog breeds. But it's a beautiful dog. Beautiful. Lord, Joe, you know what you're going to have to do now? You're going to have to text me a picture so I can show Lola off to everybody, because everybody's going to be asking. You're going to have to text me a picture on Messenger so I can show it off to show her off to everybody, because she's such a beautiful little thing. I'm so jealous of her. Maybe, never know, one day. Right, I'm going back on myself. And because like we left the bobbin on, and actually I'm gonna leave this here, because like we could sit here another hour and just adding cockapoo. She said, yeah. So we could be adding the chips on, but you know like how to do that now. So what I'm gonna do on the other side, as you can see, you got your tail end here, so you're gonna just go ahead and continue your base all the way down, and then you can continue to add the stone chips on the top. If you run out of thread, add more thread in. Now when you come to the loop on the other side, and this is like not quite long enough even for a baby size bracelet, so I can't put the loops on just yet. But when you come to the other side and you want to add your loops on, you're going to add your loops on the bead number 2 and bead number 5 to match up with your crystals on this end. And you're going to start off exactly the same. So let me turn this around. So you're going to start off with 2 seed beads of size 11, then 1 size 8. Then you're going to make a big loop, and the loop is depending on how big is your crystal. So if you got larger crystals or smaller crystals, you can always adjust the number, and that's why we add the crystal on, or the button, or anything on this side, and then we're going to go ahead and add the loop on the other side. So I reckon for this about 20 to 22 beads. That is just a wild guess, but you would, once you come out of that size 8, pick up 22-ish beads, and then go back into the size 8 and try the loop. If the loop is too small, then you're going to see thread as you're putting it over. If the loop is too big, then you need to take a bead or 2 off, and then go back to the size 8, pick up your other 2, and then it's going to be mirrored, but just instead of it's you're going to have oh, she sent a picture. Such a beautiful beautiful little girl she is. Right, let me just pull it in 1 second. There we go. And this is Lola. So this is Joe's beautiful little girl. Look at that beautiful face. Just such a little honey, isn't she? Oh, if Joe would live closer, I would be around every single day giving her cuddles. Oh, Michelle is saying we definitely want to see a picture. But that's Lola. Such a little cutie. Lucy's saying as well. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful little lady. Right, so what are we going to try next? We've got plenty of time. So we could do loads of different things. Like, you know, the possibilities is really endless. If you just wanted to do like a straight shrinking. Oh, everybody's saying, Mina's saying, Georgie Lola is so cute. She's gorgeous. Michelle is saying, Cherry's saying, super cute. Oh, Joy's saying, oh, maybe I should make her a beaded color. Absolutely. But you know, Joy, you're going to have to put miracle beads on that. Oh, Lola is so cute. Jules saying, Sally's saying cute. Yeah, she's so cute. I'm so jealous of little Lola. Right. So there's so many different things we could do. If you just want to do a straight shrinking, and then you could string your chips on sort of any sort of medium. You could use tiger tail, you could use your thread, you could make any patterns in between with seed beads, or adding anything onto the top of it. And there, you know, so many different ways you could use it. We could have, or we could make another base and then add them onto the top again. What I think you could try is, what if we had, what if, just as an idea, if we made a base and add the chips in between. So we would have seed beads on the side. Right, okay, so back to the pen and paper. So I can kind of sort of draw it down for you quickly what is kind of in my head. So what if we had stone chips in the middle? So these are my stone chips in the middle. Let's say we're gonna have to kind of like measure this because they're all sorts of different size, and we had some sort of stitch on the outside of this. So we would have more regular beads here. Maybe we could have 2 rows, and then we would have to have some sort of in between, and then have another chips coming across. Maybe, like, you know, have a little, they would be sitting in the other way. So there would maybe 3 or 4 chips sitting this way. Like if you can imagine, like they are kind of like little pillars in between your beadwork. I think that would look really cute as well. That would be, again, something a little bit different, because you could make these pillars as far apart or as close together as you wanted to add it. So if we wanted to do that, and how do we go about? Oh, I know. I just had an idea. Okay, I'm going to start with size 8, and we're going to do square stitch, and we're going to do little windows, and we're going to add the stone chips in between the windows. So there we go. I'm going to get a new thread. Just take this off. So I've got thread there to finish off that bracelet, and I'm going to pop this to the side. I'm going to grab, where's the thread gone? Drop the thread. I'm going to grab the size 8 because they will grow quite quickly. We can always add something else on the top if we wanted to later on to cover them up. Maybe some size 11 or even size 15. Right, okay, so we're going to do a little square stitch window, and we're going to add the chips in between. I think this is going to look great. So I need enough beads. I want to have a couple of beads on the side. Yeah, a couple of beads will be enough, I think. And then we want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bead in the middle and another 2. So I'm going to start off with 9 beads. And I'm going to do just 1 row of square stitch. So I'm gonna, I picked up the 9 beads, I picked up a 10th one, and then I came back through the 9th one again. And then I'm gonna go through this one, what I just did. I'm getting so excited, look. I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go a little window. I even forget to tell you. I pick up another bead. Now I'm gonna come back through. So this is my tail end here. I'm gonna come the same direction through that bead number 8, and then go back up through the one I just added. So virtually I'm sewing every single little bead together. Then I'm going to come through the next one. Let me just move this over a little bit. There we go. I think my camera might have moved its on an arm. And then going up through that one I just added. Debbie's saying, sorry, just had a homemade chocolate brownie ice cream moment. Oh, bless. Can you send some to us, please? Love chocolate brownies. I love all sorts of sweets. I've got such a sweet tooth. Brenda's saying some coralling earrings would be nice. Oh, yes, absolutely. They would look fantastic as well. And we make one window with square stitch. We add the chip in the middle, and then hopefully we'll have time and we can do a little coralling earring as well. So many different things you could do, just like with a few seed beads and some chips or beads, any sort of beads. So I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing square stitch. I'm gonna pick up a bead. I'm gonna come back through the bead on my original bead I picked up, and then go up through the bead I just picked up all the way along, and that's how you get through your row with square stitch. And when I get right to the top, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come down all the way on row 1 to reinforce it, and then go up to row 3 to reinforce it. And you get, so every single bead is stitched next to every single bead. Now, because I want to make a window, I am only going to do 2 beads in the next row here. So I'm going to pick up 1, go up through that very last one, then come back through that one. Then I'm going to pick up another one, go up through the second one, come back through that one I just added. Let me just pull it nice and straight. There we go. And then that is my row 3 on one side. So I'm going to go up the first 2 on the second row, and then come down these 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my 4th row on this side. So I'm going to pick up 1, come down through that one, go up the one I just added, and then come through the top one. Victor is saying, I think it would be good to incorporate bugle bead with the large size seed beads for the square base, then link the chips onto the square base. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different things you could do. And if you're trying something different what I'm doing, please send us a picture so I can show it off to everybody. Right, going up through there, coming through. So I wanted to have a 3 bead gap, so I'm coming up to the top, coming up to the last row, the 5th row, and then I will need 9 bead in a row again. So there's a couple of different ways we could go about this. So I could either, I'm gonna add 2 more bead joined to this side, this little sort of pillar I'm doing here, and then weave my thread all the way back down and start my beadwork on this side as well. Or I could come down, and probably that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come through all of these. I'm going to come down, I'm going to add the next row, sort of start of the next row, and go up through this, next 2 rows rather, and then turn. But I'll show you just in a sec what I mean. I just need to come through these 2 here, There we go. Joe's saying, oh, Debbie, I give up all chocolate and sweets for Lent every year. I'm really fancying chocolate now. Oh, bless you. Right, and this is the 7th row. So our square, which is quite like a, maybe it will be squarish by the time we finish, is going to be made up of 9 beads that way and 7 rows that way. So I am going to come down and I'm going to turn. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to pick up the remainder of the beads I need. So I got 2 here. I need to pick up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take this down. And then I'm going to kind of like start a square stitch right there. So I'm going to pick up 1, come through this very last one. Make sure there is no gaps anywhere. Make sure you pull your thread knot right down. Then come through the one just added. We'll square up just in a sec. Then I'm going to come through the second one. And then I pull a bit more thread through. I'm going to come through. Hang on. This thread is not, I want you tighter. I'm going to come through that bead just added right there. I'm going to pick up another one, come back up. So I'm going back towards the completed side at the moment. So can you see? So I started, and this will sit inwards just like that. So I started, I went up, and then I'm coming back down on myself, and I'm going to sew all of this row together, and from the top we're going to complete and add 3 rows in here. So I'm just going to keep adding beads the second row onto this bead we just added here. Oh, Joe just sent another photo. I think she's teasing us now. Right, let me just save the download. She's so beautiful, that dog. So scrumptious. Right, where I am, there we go. Let me just pull this picture out of here. This is Lola again. It's thinking about it's gonna bring it in. Look at her. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Oh, she's so beautiful. I love the color. I really love her color, that sort of dark, but having that sort of rust in her fur as well. She's so beautiful. Absolutely lovely. Lovely. Just sent a picture of Lola, fat and full and sleepy. Bless her. How old is she now? Joe, let us know. How old is she? Just double checking if I picked up a bead or not. And Debbie's saying she's so cute. She's absolutely cute. She's very cute. Right. And I need to add 1 more after this. And then we will be down to where we need to be. There we go. Then going up, I'm going to go up through the second row from the end. Then I'm going to go all the way up. And then I'm going to come all the way down to sew these together. And then I have to go all the way up again to get to the other side. And I am going to go ahead and come through the first 2 of these beads. And I'm going to add this little 2 bead rows to get and connect to the other side. So that's the first of 2. Victoria Singh, Joe, you have sympathy with giving up for Lent. I have given up ice cream, my weakness. Oh, bless. Lola is beautiful, Judith is saying. Brenda is saying she will have cuddles with Lulu, her son's dog, at the weekend. Another cockapoo. They're such a beautiful breed. So lovely dogs. One of my friends got one as well, just up the road. Very, very lovely dogs. There's so many about as well. Right, second row added, and I'm gonna come through second row of twos. Come through them. Go up here. Then adding the third one. Make sure it's sitting right. And after the third row is added here, I'm gonna complete it by going up and down. All I need to do is to sew this together my original rows. So as I'm at the top, I'm gonna line it up. So I need to sew this bead to this one and the below bead to the second bead. So I'm gonna do exactly the same as if I had to pick up a bead. I'm coming out on the side here, so I'm gonna go in just through the first bead. Then I'm gonna come through this bead what I was coming out of. So those two beads are sewn together. Then I'm gonna come through the first and second bead here. I'm gonna go up through just one bead on this side and come through just the second bead in that row. Then I'm gonna go through these two and then come down these two as well. Actually, I'm gonna go down all the way. There we go. So we have got our little square stitch, and actually it's quite a square. Oh, Brenda sent the picture as well of Lulu. Oh, I'm gonna, hold on, let me just get this one as well. I'll show you. So, another beautiful one. You're breaking my heart. One of these days, I'm gonna get one of these beauties. Right, this is Lulu. This is Brenda's son's. Beautiful. Oh, look at that face. How beautiful it is. Oh, bless. Beautiful, beautiful. I love her color as well. Right, let me just X this out. Oh, Mina's saying, I'm a sad person as I have no pet allowed in my house. Right, so what we're going to do, and maybe our gap we might have made, and actually, in reality, if I'm looking at this, my gap might be a little bit too big, but never mind. So what I want to do is to come out this middle beads facing inwards, because we're going to add the chips in there. They're going to sit just in there. So I'm going to have to turn my thread buff around. So I'm going to go through these two beads, then I'm going to come up through the middle row, but I need to be facing downwards. So I'm just going to go down on one bead here, and then I'm going to jump to the middle row and go down in that bead, just like that, and pull this up. Brenda is saying they have such lovely personalities. Michelle is saying Lulu is super cute too. She's gorgeous, Brenda. Oh, Lulu is stunning, Joe is saying. So now I'm going to pick up my chips. So I need to pick up, I don't know, a few, maybe 4, I would say. 2, maybe 5, because these ones are a little bit thinnies, the ones I picked up. I'm going to pick up, now let's pick up 4. I'm going to take it down and just sit it in there for a sec and see. Oh no, actually, surprisingly, they fill the gap quite nicely, the 4. And I'm just going to go through the 2 bead on the top and pull this up nice and tight. There we go. So we're going to have a little cluster of chips. Now what I would do, I would sort of weave my thread around and come through the chips again to reinforce them. But after you did that, you're going to weave your thread to the end, and you're going to start again with the 2 beads. So let me just bring this up here. I'm going to come through the first 2. I'm going to pick up 1 and start again. I'm not going to complete another square because I'm going to have a go at the earrings, what Brenda suggested. But you would start your next square. So you would have 3 beads and then the two longer ones to even add and come back on yourself, and you can add like little cluster in the next one and the next one and the next one, like so you got like an intricate kind of beads going around with your pattern, and then you have got something in the middle. Now this one doesn't just have to be stone chips. I guess you could add a round bead, you could add a square beads, you could add any single bead in between, and they don't have to be 3 bead wide as well, the gaps. You can just make it 2 bead wide, or you can make it even just 1 bead wide and add something like smaller, like 4mm bicons in there, or rounds, or 3mm rounds as well would look really good. Joy saying, "Oh, Kitty, we're all gushing over puppies when we should be paying attention to your beading. Sorry, this does look beautiful. Oh, bless you. I don't mind at all. Puppies are allowed. Puppies are allowed." That would make a nice earring, absolutely. And if you made it as an earring, you could have it like corner to corner as well. So if I didn't have these 2, I just pull these 2 away. If you didn't have those 2, you could have it corner to corner as well. If I had it corner to corner, when I'm adding the chips, I would weave my thread into there, come out of this one and go to the bottom and force maybe 1 extra chip in there, so it would make my pattern stretch just like that, and it would be more of a diamond shape. So you could do it as well. It's always the little ones. Right, okay, so oh, look, like-minded people. Brenda just said the same thing. If you did the chips diagonally instead, you could use it as a pendant, absolutely. Oh, Lucy's saying, I have Lily. She's a Chihuahua that thinks she's a Rottweiler and she has the biggest attitude. Oh, bless. You know, Lucy, you're going to have to send us a picture now because everybody's going to be asking for the picture. So just send us a picture of Lily and I can show her off as well. Right, okay, so let's have a go at little earrings. So let me just pull this up. I'm going to take my thread, rethread my needle, and we're going to have a look at another little options what you could do with your chips. And I love fringing, so probably, and I love like little dangly earrings as well. So it would be one of my favorite one to do. Now we're gonna have to go backwards and forwards with this quite a bit. So again, not so much thread, but it will take quite a bit of that. So I'm gonna give a little bit of length to, how many times do I want to go up? I'm gonna give 5 to the bottom of my, well, it depends, I guess. You could do it more, or you could do it less. You could add as many fringes as you want. We could make it longer. Let's make it longer. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I picked up 8 eighths, and then I'm gonna change to size 11. So I'm gonna pick up 5. How long do I want it to be? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. I picked up 15 size 11. So the over length of my earring is gonna be that long, which is a nice dangly size. So this is just maybe just under a couple of inches, or maybe just a couple of inches. Then I'm gonna pick up a stone chip. And I'm going to pick up a 15. These didn't have to be 8s. They could have been 11s. It's just I had the 8s in front of me. Then a 15, and I'm going to come back through the chip, and I'm going to come back through, let's say, 5 of my size 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just one too many. Then I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. And just wrap this around my finger here so it doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up 5 seed beads, size 11. I'm going to pick up a chip, and I'm going to pick up a size 15 and take this all the way down. And this time I'm going to come through the chip, I'm going to come through the 5 seed beads, and I'm going to continue myself up the next 5 seed beads just here. And I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. So I got 2 little sort of dangly parts at the bottom. I'm going to pick up another 5 seed. It doesn't have to be 5. I can pick up 4 or I can pick up 6. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be an exact amount because we're going for a kind of like an organic look. Picked up a chip, picking up another size 15, taking this down. Friend, they sing Lily, Lulu and Lola. Joyce saying, yes, Lucy, send the picture of Lily. So again, I'm going to miss the 15, go back through the chip, the 5 size 11s, and then I'm going to go up. I only got 3 seed beads there of size 11 and 1 size 8. And then I'm going to start another one, another little branch. So again, I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, about 15. I'm not really going to, apparently I only picked up 13 in the other one, so I'm not even going to look at. I'm just going to pick up, let's say, that much. So however much is that? I think Lucy just sent a picture in. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. So pick up a chip. And the size 15. Come back to the chip. And about 5 of the size 11s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if we wanted to, we could have gone backwards and forwards and have more of a tassel look, always coming out of the size 8 and adding multiple fringes to that size 8. If we do it this way, that we always, when we get to the top, we're going to go up through one size 8. It's going to give you more of like sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Lily knows when it's 5 to 11 every day. Oh, bless, because that's when you take her to walk, aren't you? Oh, Lindsay's saying, I sent the picture of Missy and Murphy, but it won't let me. Oh, no. I don't know how I can, like, is it just not coming through to me or... Oh, look at that beauty. I'm gonna download and show that. I need to save it to my downloads first and then come and grab out the picture and then I can show you Lucy's beautiful Lily. Oh, bless her. She's so cute as well. There we go. I'm going to zoom out so I can look at her. She's so beautiful as well. Such a beautiful colors again. I love them all. I love all sorts of colors of dogs. Very, very beautiful. Dogs are so different from cats, aren't they? They got very different sort of characteristics. I think a dog will love you unconditionally no matter what. And the cat will only love you if you feed it. As long as you feed it, then you're cool. But then with a cat, I suppose, like it depends. With the dog, you definitely need to take it for a walk every single day. So again, I went up one size 8 and I'm going to start another one. Another fringe again. I'm not going to count it. I'm just going to pick up so many beads. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Lily. Say goodbye for now. I was on the open day. There's a lady came in with a baby yesterday. And I always said, why is it? To cats, you don't talk like that to cats. But to dogs and babies, you always like make your voice higher and start to talk to them like they make you fools, like completely fools, because if you really think about it, like, you know, go to the baby, like you go up to the baby and you start playing peekaboo, I can see you, and like talking a much higher pitch, and you do the same with dogs, but don't do it with cats. Lucy's saying Lily is much smaller than a cat. Lily is gorgeous, Mina is saying. Sweet Lily Joe is saying. Oh, bless. Right, so I'm going to pick up another chip and a size 15. So we're doing a little bit of a coralling. I'm going to turn this into a pair of earrings. Now you can add as many or as little. If I don't want, I don't have to add another chip going up. I can go all the way up through the next size 8. And can you see, because I am kind of going up through a size 8 every single time, my earrings is going to fan out a little bit. If I want them to really bunch together like that, then I have to have them come out the same size 8 for every single time I go down. So again, I'm going to pick up, I don't even know how many, I'm not going to count again. Sort of like under an inch worth of size 11 beads here. Maybe 2 more. It's always you pick them up and you say, I'm just going to pick up 1 more bead for good luck. She's saying she made a lot of noise for a little dog through, doesn't she, Lucy? I've sometimes found little dogs, they are the loudest. Bless them. I'm just coming back up. Oh, Lucy sent another picture of Lily. Let me just get it and I can bring it in for you. Oh, little beauty. But you know, Lucy, like, you know what we're going to ask now? What everybody's going to ask? Well, this is not really showing us how big Lily is, because now what we're going to ask, how big is the bear? So now we know Lily is smaller than the bear, but we don't know how big is the bear. Oh, bless. She's beautiful, isn't she? Right, I am going to pull this through. Oh, beautiful Lily. And I'm going to make, every time when you pull it up, make sure that there is no kind of like gaps in between your thread. I'm going to add another 5 seed bead on, another chip, another size 15, taking it down. Oh, the bear is 40 centimeters, Lucy is saying. And then going up through this. I'm going to add another one, sort of kind of like midway. Again, picking up a few seed beads and a chip and a size 15, always adding size 15 to the end of the chip so it doesn't stick out so much. And then I'm going to going all the way to the top, and I'm going to go to the next size 8. And now you can add as many or as little fringes as you want. I'm just going to stop for a sec. And I'm going to evaluate it. Actually, that might be enough for a little dangle at the bottom, because you don't want to, like, the more you add to it, the more heavy it's going to get. So I'm just going to take my thread up through the next 4. I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 seed bead will be enough for a loop. I'm going to take this back down. I could just knot it together right now, but I like to take it back down, and it doesn't matter like which fringe I'm going to go in. I'm just going to go down to the first chip. I can see, any chip will do, just to turn my thread around so I can go back up, and then I'm gonna knot my end and my tail together, my tail and my working end together, so it's nice and secure. Through the chip. Where is the hole? There it is. To the size 15. Back up the chip. And then back up all the way to the top to meet my tail. I'm gonna go through. Before I knot it together, I'm gonna go up through the seed beads one more time in the loop. Oops, make sure that you don't get caught up with your fringe. Up through those, and I'm saying it and getting caught again. There we go, just pull it out. There we go. Through those beads, just reinforce those 6 beads at the top. This could be 5, 7, depending of how big do you want to make this loop, because you can add the air wire in that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just knot my threads together. There we go. And again. And then I'm just going to take my thread either down or up, just to hide it. Never cut your thread right next to the knot. Just take it through a few beads. Hold this to the end, and then there we go. I'm gonna cut the end off and take this thread through, add the needle on it, and take that thread to a few beads as well. So again, I don't want to cut it off right next to the knot I just made. I'm just going to take this down as well, just through a few of the beads. It doesn't even matter how many, just poke it through and then cut this one off as well. And then I would add this, open up the air wire, the loop on the air wire, and add this right on top of it. Now you could make a pendant like this as well. You could do all sorts of different things, like make this and fill it up completely, so you would have like a big bunch of coralling in the middle. That would look really good as well. Ruth is saying that looks about right. Really pretty. Thank you so much, Ruth. I'm loving the earrings. Will go really nice with the hedgehog bracelet. Definitely will make some of these. Yeah, you could just a few. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 12 chips on this one. You could fill it up more. You can add less to it. All sorts of different ways you could do. I mean, he's saying love the earring and never tried coralling technique. Do have a go. So we made this little bunch here. I love this. I'm gonna have to make another one in the earring. We made a little square, a square stitch squares today, and then we made this beautiful netted base, and we added the chips onto the top of the netted base. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the chat. Let me just move these over. Which one is your favorite? The bracelet, the earring, or the little square? Which one did you enjoy the most? Or like the look of the most? Not you sort of enjoyed it, but you like the look of the most. Which one would you make? Michelle is saying beautiful earrings. Ruth is saying it is so lacy. Louise is saying, I did the coralling necklace before. I remember really enjoyed doing it. They do take some time and they take a lot of thread, but they give you the most beautiful organic look. Brenda is saying, can you show the coralling necklace we did ages ago? Absolutely. Let me just grab one out of the cupboard. Hopefully I can get my hand on. Probably not the Amazonite, but I'm going to get my hand on one. Ooh. And actually, what do you know? I have got my hand on the Amazonite one, but we did different ones as well. Let me just grab another one. Should have the very sporty one. That one. And here. I can see chips. No, that's a hedgehog. Another hedgehog. Right, I'm still here. Just one sec. I keep finding hedgehogs, and that's not what I want. What I want. Oh, and I found my sample. Right. No, I just got one. I can't find another one. I have put all my samples in color order. And it's the first thing I ever did because I can never find anything. But I'm going to show you a couple of things with coraling as well. So I'm going to zoom out so you can really see it. And I just clear this up. So the necklace, which we did. Oh no, I just got my thread tangled in with it. So the necklace we did, and this is, I managed to find the Amazonite one. Just going to pop this down here. So again, did the same technique. We did with the necklace first. I did all the size 8 beads on there, and then we come back and added the other ones. This one has got a couple of colors of seed beads in there, just sort of for the spot of color. Really beautiful, very nice for the summer. Really, really nice necklace to do for the summer. And what I love about this most, when you wear something like this, it gives you that little bit of sort of a jingling sound as you're wearing and walking around with it. I really do love it. But we made it in all sorts of different colors. But again, it's probably a quarter of a whole strand of gemstones on there, not more. Really, really, gemstone chips goes such a long way. So you can have a go with this one as well. So string all the 8s on, and then you're gonna come and add a fringe, skip a couple of beads, add another fringe, skip another bead, add another fringe, and all the way every second bead, every second the third bead, depending on how big gaps you want in between, you're gonna add. Let me just bring it up, a fringe on, and it's gonna sit beautifully. Actually, let me put on. It's gonna sit beautifully when you're wearing it. Where is that? There we go. I'm gonna have to. There we go. So it's just gonna sit really, really beautifully on you. There we go. So with coraling as well, I picked this one out as well. Because again, you don't have to have it all the way the same size. You could make it really long in the middle. So if you're wearing like V-shape necklaces or anything like that, you could really have something just, oops, I thought I dropped it, something just hanging down in the middle as well. My top is not the right one for this one, but you could make all sorts of different shapes with coraling as well, and sitting really nicely and beautifully. I'm probably not modeling this the best, but you can really make beautiful necklaces with this technique. I love coraling. And now I can't find the clasp to undo it. There we go. So let me just show you this on the mat as well. So there we go. Again, couple of different colors of seed beads just to give it a spot of color. And this one just has crystals and pearls on the end. So you could do so many different things, different sizes. But I just wanted to show you the difference between like having a shorter sort of coraling and longer coraling. So many different things you could do. Judy saying, I remember you making the necklace. Love that color. Of course, Lucy, it's pink. That's why I went to the pink drawer straight away to see if there is a coraling in pink in there. Dan is saying the bracelet is my favorite. I think the square is too complicated for me. The bracelet is quite easy, and I think once you get your head around the square as well, you could do quite easily to do that one as well. Shirley's saying I like the bracelet. Ruth is saying bracelet, earrings, then the square. Lorna is saying netted bracelet, but I love them all. Earring then bracelet looks great. Kim is saying, Mina is saying bracelet. Victoria is saying earrings. Lucy saying I like the bracelet. Cherry saying looks lovely. Kitty, could you please put something next to earrings to help give it a sense of size? So if I hold it up here, is gonna see, so it's quite nice. Like for me, it's probably this is the right size, just a sort of dangling down there. It's a couple of inches. Have I got? Oh yes, I have got my ruler back. I rescued it from the lounge. One of the little minxes has borrowed it. Let's go down to the table. I'm going to show you just under a couple of inches long. So it's a perfect size for me. This is saying like the bracelet. And that was the message from Brenda when I went off and started to look for the necklaces. Do shorter tassels and make a tassel bracelet to match the coral necklace. Yeah, absolutely, you could do that as well. Good thing about coraling is you can use up your cheaper seed beads, absolutely, because for this one, and this is not Toho at all. This is, I think, just craft seed beads, and you can see how uneven are they really. Let me just hold it up closer so or zoom in. One or the other or both. Can you just see how uneven these beads are? Really, really uneven. So when you do coraling, if you got cheaper beads at home, cheaper craft seed beads, use them up, because they still gonna look that very organic look. You don't have to use for curling your good quality seed beads, so they are perfect for that. Sherry saying thank you, that's super helpful, looks lovely. Another inspiration evening, thank you so much. As long as you come in and turn up and chat with me, I'll be here to chat you and we'll bead together. I like the pink one the best. The FGB seed beads as well are ideal. So the FGB seed beads are kind of like the middle class seed beads. I think Sarah named them middle class seed beads because these are FGBs on this necklace. So they are price wise and quality wise in the middle between Toho and craft seed beads. So they are not as even, so they're not there. You can do bead weaving. So the netted bracelet I could do with these ones because they're even enough, but perhaps for a peyote stitch they wouldn't be like even enough, but for a netted one definitely. So they're the middle class. They're in between in price as well, and quality between the craft seed beads and the Toho seed beads themselves. Right, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I'll be back when I'm back this week. I'm back on Friday on Totally, and I'm going to be doing, I got it here now, I think it's in the lounge. I'm going to be doing some embroidery. Then we'll be back next Sunday, and next Sunday I've chosen hematite. I'm going to be working with hematite, and there is a few different color bundles on the website. So it's 3mm and 6mm and size 15s we're going to be working. Again, I have got something in mind we can try with it, but we can sort of play together as well. So we're going to be doing that next Sunday. So do have a look on Totally Beads for it if you would like to get one. I did put a couple of toggle clasp in there as well, so you can have a little play, and we will be doing that next Sunday. I have got the tray, but I think I didn't bring it in from the car because I brought it home yesterday, so I can't go and grab it. But we're going to be playing with hematite beads, and hint, 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 they're going to be hematite pendants are going to be coming up as well on Totally Beads, and I have chosen the colors for the bracelets and the pendants. They may be they may be matching, so have a look out for them. Everybody Have a beautiful evening. And I'll see you Friday morning on Untitled Beads, or I'll see you next Sunday night back here for another creation station. Oh, Lucy just popped the link in for the creation station. So do click on that and have a look. Everybody